no, no. No, 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 no.
Hey y'all, this is the Pleasure and Peace Practice, and I'm your host, Tia, your Pleasure and Peace practitioner. For those of you who may be new here, welcome. This is a space where your pleasure is not optional and your peace is sacred. Each episode, we explore things that are real, raw, and I hope restorative. Through honest conversation, evidence-based practice, and an abundance of permission, I encourage you to feel good. Whether you're here to reconnect with your body, unlearn harmful shame, or just take a breath, you belong here. Welcome in. Today, we're diving into the science of peace. Not just the feel-good, Hakuna Matata, bubble bath, and sage stick peace. But there is a time and place for that, don't get me wrong. But the kind of peace that shifts how we connect, how we heal, and how we experience pleasure in our bodies and in our lives. Later in the episode, I'll be answering a listener-submitted question, a special request for a resource roundup. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Let's start with a question. What is peace really? A lot of people assume peace means total stillness or silence. I hear this all the time, especially when I run meditation groups. People often say, I can't sit still, and they worry that this means they aren't doing it right. But peace is more than just being still. Peace is really not about being still at all. Peace is about your nervous system. How is your nervous system doing? I would define peace as when your body being regulated and you feel safe and secure, no matter what you're doing. So, if you're sitting quietly, but you're anxious or bracing for impact, that's not peace. On the other hand, if you're running errands all day, but your nervous system is settled and you feel grounded, you might call that a peaceful day. Now that we have reframed what peace is, let's talk about what peace feels like in the body. It's that moment when your chest softens, your jaw unclenches, your breath gets easier. You're not numb. You're not pretending like you're okay. You're simply not on guard. That's the power of peace. One of the biggest misconceptions that I see is this idea that peace equals doing nothing. But peace isn't passive. Peace is active. It's your body saying, I feel safe enough to slow down. I feel safe enough to rest. In that state, something beautiful opens up. You have more capacity for connection to yourself, to others, to pleasure. You become more available for joy, curiosity, and closeness. Now, that doesn't mean life isn't still life. It doesn't mean you won't feel pain or discomfort. But peace reminds you you don't have to live in emergency mode all the time. And if that sounds hard for you, if peace feels weird, boring, maybe even unsafe, I want you to know that you're not broken. You're not doing anything wrong. Your body may just be doing what it's always done to survive. If you've lived through trauma, chronic stress, chaos, your nervous system may not trust calm. That's not a flaw. That's a survival strategy. Your body has kept you alive by staying on high alert. So, of course, it's going to push back when things are quiet. That's not your norm. That restlessness, that discomfort and stillness, it's not a failure. That's your nervous system struggling to unlearn survival. Healing helps you remember that peace is okay. When you let it in, bit by bit, you begin to feel better. When you feel better, you can connect more deeply with yourself and with others. Peace is not just for you, it's something you offer to the people around you. It helps build trust, it creates intimacy, it helps others feel safe in your presence. If you've ever felt awkward, edgy, ugh, in calm moments, please hear me when I say you're not broken. Your body's just learning a new way to be. That takes time, that takes compassion. Today, I want to share with you a quick body scan. We're going to do it together. And then please feel free to do this on your own. It'll help you to strengthen compassion for yourself and invite more peace into your life. This is the pleasure and peace practice, after all. And so, as your practitioner, I have to remind you that pleasure cannot flourish in a system that is stuck in survival mode. True sexual and emotional pleasure is built from a foundation of security. Let's settle in. So, I want for you to please gently close your eyes if you're able, if you're driving or maybe taking a walk as you listen to this. Maybe try to soften your gaze. Let your hands rest comfortably. Let your limbs kind of just be. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Sigh it out through your mouth. Let those shoulders drop. Bring your attention to your forehead, your eyes, your jaw. Relax your brow. Unclench your jaw. Let your tongue rest. You can soften here. Release the tension that you no longer. Moving to your neck and your shoulders. Notice any tightness or weight. Imagine your shoulders melting down and away from your ears. It is okay to let go. You are allowed to rest. Feel your breath moving through your chest. If you're able, place a hand there. You can be kind to yourself today and honor your heart. You are safe in your body. You can listen to yourself with care and patience. Notice any sensations in your belly and gut: comfort, tightness, fluttering. Exhale. You are here. You can offer yourself peace in this moment. Feel supported by the ground beneath you. Allow your legs to be heavy. As we close, take a full bodied breath. Imagine your breath sweeping you from head to toe. I hope that was helpful. Feel free to come back to it anytime you need or want to do a quick body scan to encourage compassion and invite peace. Now that we've explored a bit about what peace is, how it shows up in the body, and one way for you to quickly invite it in through a body scan, let's shift gears into our final segment. This week's listener question was as follows: what are some resources for celebrating July as Minority Mental Health Month? First and foremost, thank you for your question. I do have to be honest, though, and say that I did not realize that July was Minority Mental Health Month. This could be because I'm Black all year. And also, I do not consider myself a minority. So, those two things might be why I didn't know, but thank you for bringing it to my attention. A while ago, I do not remember where I heard it, but there was a speaker who said that people who are often considered quote unquote minorities are in fact the global majority. And that has stuck with me. As an answer to the question, I'm going to go into detail about some of my favorite resources for, in this case, who I think of when I hear the term minority, or as I prefer to think of it, the global majority. Of course, if I got this wrong, whoever this listener is or anybody else who has a different idea, please let me know. Write to me, send me a Q&A, write a comment, and I can adjust as needed. For the time being, when I think of the global majority and resources, first things first, I love the Loveland Foundation. So this was founded by Taraji P. Henson. And I love this resource in particular. I've used it with many clients in the past because it helps make therapy more accessible for Black women specifically. So, periodically throughout the year, they have applications open up where you can apply if you are a Black woman. And um, I believe that it gives you 12 of your therapy sessions covered by them. They work directly with a licensed therapist of your choice to pay them vouchers so you don't have to pay and then get reimbursed. You don't have to do any of that. It is super easy. So I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I also love Inclusive Therapists. So this is a directory, and I honestly find it easier to navigate. And I've had better luck with it over Therapy for Black Girls as a directory. So Therapy for Black Girls, honorable mention. But what I love about inclusive therapists is the care that they take to try and find you a therapist that matches as closely as possible with your stated identities. So, this includes language, cultural knowledge, spiritual knowledge, different abilities, being fat, being older, being intersex, being transgender, being a culture child. There's so many different categories. I just love how specific and encompassing the selections are. I highly, highly, highly recommend it if you're looking for a therapist. Additionally, there's the Trevor Project. So this is my favorite resource as it relates to the LGBTQIA plus community. I love that the website makes it easy to close out and delete from your search history if you're in a sensitive or compromised situation. I love that there are resources for everyone, people who are questioning, people who want to better support those in their lives. There are crisis services available 24/7, 365, etc. Just lots and lots of great resources. Some of you might be wondering why I mentioned the LGBTQIA community when we discussed the global majority. And it's because number one, we don't really know the number of people who identify outside of the status quo of heteronormativity. And we might never know due to currently living in a society that does not make it safe for people to be their authentic selves. With that being said, I like to just presume that everyone is queer until specifically stated otherwise. That's what I do. You do what you do. You know. To round out my response to the listener who posed this question, I encourage people, not just in July, but all year, to take care of yourself. Look into the resources I shared. Take a moment to journal or reflect on how your culture impacts your peace. How does your culture impact your pleasure? How do you feel about your answers? Or maybe the lack thereof? As we close out today, I want to remind you that peace is not passive. It requires you to give permission. It requires you to let go. It requires you to let in. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow, subscribe, like, comment, all the things. Submit your own anonymous questions, comments, concerns. Share this with someone else who you think can benefit from it. I hope that you tune in next week where we will be discussing our body as an altar and reclaiming worth, sensuality, and joy. Until then, I'm Tia, your pleasure and peace practitioner, reminding you to breathe. I'll talk to y'all soon. Thank you for being here, for listening, for getting curious with me. Whether it's a question, a story, or a truth, still finding words, this space is for you. Whatever it is, you don't have to hold it alone. Ask, share, confess. We're in this together. And if you've got something on your heart, drop it anonymously using the link in the show notes or over on Instagram. If this episode moved you, helped you, or made you feel seen, share it with a friend, leave a rating, or drop a comment. Your support helps this space grow. Follow me on Instagram and Threads at Pleasure and Peace with Tia for more. Until next time, remember, I've got you and you've got this. Talk to y'all soon.